All right, so good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Ash Cash Show every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure you go to the ashcashshow.com to subscribe to our podcast. Make sure you go to ashcashtv.com to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Every Saturday, we have a special show that is uploaded to the podcast. So make sure you go. So this past Saturday, I had the pleasure of speaking with my sister, Asha Tari, who is a psychotherapist. She's talking about mental health around this time. It's a very important interview. So make sure you go to the ashcastshow.com to listen to that interview. I have a bunch of great interviews lined up, so I'm looking forward to those. But every Saturday, we drop a new one, the ashcastshow.com, or you can go wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, Twitch, Stitcher, anywhere you listen to Google Play, anywhere you listen to your podcast. But definitely make sure you go to the ashcastshow.com. Also, we still need supporters for the show. So if you go to the ashcastshow.com, you can support the show there. But then we also need subscribers too. We're getting close, but we still need 1,000 subscribers, at least 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. So go to ashcashtv.com. If this is your first time, the format of the show, we start number one with an inspirational word of the day. Number two, we go with the financial news, financial hip hop and financial news. And then number three, we open it up for any questions that you guys may have. If you are watching from YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, Twitter, make sure that you put your questions in the comment box. If you're watching on Instagram, please put your comments in the question box, or put your questions in the question box so we can get to them. So I appreciate everybody, all my Mind Right moguls for tuning in. I appreciate y'all, and we'll get this show on the road. And so today's daily word, inspirational word of the day is about, weapons. Right, so we all know the quote that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Right, and I posted this today on my IG. So if you're not following me on IG, I am Ash Cash. I posted this on my IG and on my Facebook, and I saw my friend Davida Rowley post this one time, and it said, "Make sure you are not the weapon formed against yourself that is causing you not to prosper." And I thought that was a great way to start the week, because when we think about weapons formed against us, I believe that the biggest weapon and the biggest tool that you have is your mind, period. Right? The biggest weapon that you have and the biggest tool that you have against that weapon is your mindset. I don't care what things may look like. I don't care if the adversities are coming, things are happening, whatever the case may be. Life will always be as good or as bad as your perspective. Meaning, how are you looking at things and how are you viewing things? And the reason why I say that, always though, I don't think there is no scenario right now that could change that. Right? There's no scenario that you could give me that I could be like, okay, yes, that, in this particular scenario, your mind is not the power that you have. In every single scenario, your mind is going to be what is your greatest asset or your greatest weapon. And so make sure, right, as we're walking in this week, the rest of the year, make sure that you are not the weapon formed against yourself that is causing you not to prosper, because at the end of the day, that's the only thing. And the reason why I say there's no scenario whatsoever is because if you live to tell the story, then you still have opportunity. I don't care, no matter what the circumstance is. Any circumstance, no matter what the circumstances, you think of any, from the most desirable to the least desirable. I don't care what it is, anything in between. There is no scenario in which you have breath in your body left that you can't look at the right side of that and create the outcome that you want. And so do not, as we move forward, do not become the weapon formed against yourself that's not causing you to prosper, right? Was working on a project this weekend, and it's weird. That's why a lot of times I try insurance and style say that. Did you die? Then let's get it. You know what I mean? A lot of times I try to stay off of social media, especially when I'm working on projects and stuff, because it derails my mind sometimes, and so sometimes as I'm working on stuff, I start to think about other things or what I could be doing or whatever, and so if I'm watching somebody else's feed and then my feed is righteous and ratchet, so I'll be honest with y'all, right? My feed is ratchet and righteous, meaning that I intentionally follow a bunch of people that feed my brain, but then, I'm still tapped into people that I grew up in the neighborhood or, whatever the case may be. And so I have, both sides. And so it's like, so sometimes I go on social media and I'm like looking at all these different things. And I say all that to say is that, like, as I was looking, I got to a space where I was just like, man, I started getting discouraged about this project, and it wasn't real discouragement. It was weird, right? It wasn't even like real discouragement. It's just a thought. It was just a thought that came to my mind as I was working on it. And I was like, yo, that's crazy to me. Like, I'm like, yo, why am I even thinking this way? Why am I feeling this way? And so I literally just took a nap. I think that naps are the best remedies. Naps and workouts are the best remedies for negative mindset. And so I took a nap, woke up, and then got to a space like, I bet we back on it. And so I realized that a lot of the thoughts that I was having it wasn't even real, right? What does the Course of Miracles says? Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists, right? So nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists, right? And so at the end of the day, whatever is real, like if abundance is yours and abundance is then nothing real can be threatened, right? And so I was just like, man, it's so crazy because the thoughts that I was thinking, these negative things, wasn't even real. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't even something that was a fact. It was just these crazy thoughts that was just coming to my head. And so I say all that to say that, again, make sure you are not the weapon that was formed against you that is causing you not to prosper. Because I believe we're at one of the, definitely at a crossroads, but we're at one of the best times in our lives, right? Because when I think about where we are right now, every spiritual literature says the truth shall set you free. The truth, right, shall set you free. Culture Creator says my biggest negative mindset is when I feel like I wasted my time doing something, but there is never wasted time. It's relationship built, experiences earned, and lessons learned. Now, I salute to that for sure, and so, yeah, like every single, literature tells you, right, that the truth shall set you free. And so right now, the truth is it can't be hidden. You know what I'm saying? Like the truth can't be hidden. V Good Energy says that's why they were removed. In Spain, Africa, many societies have siestas for a reason. Less depression, anxiety. We must reset. Nap. No, it's a fact. Like, rest is important. In fact, if you ever watch any movies or if you know anybody that's, in the military or anything like that, sleep deprivation is a weapon, right? It's a form of trying to get the enemy to tell you this, you know what I'm saying? Like, so lack of sleep could have you depressed. Lack of sleep will have you hallucinating, paranoid. So yeah, sleep is definitely important. You know what I mean? But again, like I said, we're in a good time, meaning that the truth is minus COVID-19, but I think it's all necessary, right? It's all necessary. Like we needed that in order for the truth to rise, right? We needed COVID-19, right? So like Wall Street Philippe just said, adversity is the testing ground of excellence, right? Like we need we needed COVID-19 to see to test your will, to test your where you are, right? And so I think we're in a good time. Those who don't understand their power might look at these times and say, I can't wait till it's over, or this is not good times. This is one of the worst times. But I believe that everything is working in your greater good, and so that's why I appreciate this time. I actually, the funny thing about it, and because I don't want to get political, I'll jump into the news. But the funny thing about it is that I actually appreciate, and nobody take this the wrong way, but I appreciate Donald Trump for that reason, right? The truth shall set you free, because I'll be honest, I've been watching videos of Joe Biden, and energy is everything for me. You know what I'm saying? Energy is everything for me, and I don't believe when I watch these old videos of how he spoke about black people specifically. I mean, I was never able to look past. I was not gonna say forgive, because I don't hold anything against any of them, but I wasn't able to look past like what Hillary Clinton was saying about super predators. I never was able to look past that. You know what I'm saying? I was never able to look past the super predator thing, and so when she was running for president, I was like, because I knew she had a lot of dirt, meaning that, I wasn't enthused. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't enthused about her running, because she was like, pandering to black people, like, oh, it's all good now, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with Joe Biden. Like, I'm telling you, like, y'all look it up. I'm not telling y'all to. I'm not. Again, I'm not trying to sway nothing. Truth is truth. Facts is facts. I'm not giving my opinion about stuff. I am giving my opinion, but my opinion is based on these facts that are out here. And so when I look at what Joe Biden said, right? Like when he said, like I saw these, I actually had to look it up, right? I had to look up the video of him pushing the crime bill. Boy. When I tell you, and the truth of the matter, and this is why I say, like, I appreciate Donald Trump. And again, it's not like, please don't take this the wrong way. I appreciate Donald Trump because I know where he stands, right? Like I grew up in the hood, right? I grew up in the hood, right? And when I grew up in the hood, I'd rather know who my enemies are and who my friends are. And I feel like when I look at, I want to know where you stand. So great. So I'm getting it. So Style Lewis says, so do you feel people can't change? Those videos are years ago. I do think people could change for sure, but I do think that when you think about what he said recently, though, right? Hold on for a second. Joe Biden has real life happened to him. Losing his entire family has grown him up. Joe has changed over time. Maybe, right? Maybe. I don't know, right? Because at the end of the day, I still listened, right? I still listened to what he said recently, right? Meaning that, oh, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, then you ain't black. I don't. And what I'm saying is this, right? What I'm saying is this. I hate being in a space where I'm uncertain, right? Meaning that there's uncertainty. So he had said these things in the past, but I don't know. I look at energy, like, it's weird to me, right? Like, the energy in which he said it, I don't like, meaning that that was a deep conviction. Like, he felt that. You know what I'm saying? So like when he was talking about these predators and that we have to lock them up, like, I felt that. Like I felt it, right? When I hear him talk now, I don't feel it. And I can't explain it better than that. Right? I can't explain it better than that. Yes, it was old videos, but if I take the old video and I look, and I compare it to what he's saying now when we talk about the black agenda, when we talk about all that stuff. I don't feel it. I don't feel it. And so yes, I believe people could change, but if I don't, then it's just my personal opinion, and I'm not saying vote for Trump over Joe Biden. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying that the truth shall set you free. So today, right, November is gonna be something different, right? You know what I'm saying? So November is gonna be something different. But at the end of the day, today, I appreciate the fact that Trump is telling you exactly who you are. You know what I'm saying? So I can't. I'll leave it there. And the other thing is this, right? The other thing is this, and I'll say this about this, and this is why it's gonna be very, very hard for me to get past any of this, because y'all gotta understand, I'm a '90s baby, right? I was, I was born in the '80s, but my youth years was in the '90s, right? So I'm a '90s baby, which means that when they wiped out all of my OGs, like mass incarceration affected me directly, right? It affected me directly. And so knowing that there was such a push for that, right? One out of three of us is locked up doing time. You know what I'm saying? Like, what that type of do it in mind? Like, yeah, like think about that for a second. Like they weren't after. If you watch the speech, they weren't after the men though. You know what I'm saying? Like they weren't after the men. Please be clear. There's a prison. There's a school to prison pipeline for a reason. Understand that. Please understand that. Please understand that there was a school to prison. They weren't after the men. They were after the kids. They were after our boys. You know what I'm saying? Like think about it in the 90s. Think about all your friends that went through juvie, that went through the system that maybe didn't have to. Think about all the men that got wiped out that didn't have to. So it's hard for me to so I was watching, and so here's the kicker. Here's the kicker, right? I was watching Angela Stanton King. She's a conservative, right? Black conservative running for office. So there's an interview on the Breakfast Club where she, like Trump pardoned her or whatever the case may be. And so she's pro-Trump policies, right? So she's for Trump policies. And so when she was talking, she made this great analogy, and I'll use this analogy here, right? And again, I'm not, I just want to give you the facts how I see them. I would not be real to y'all if I felt the way, and I'm not saying it, and that's the only reason I'm saying that. And sometimes you'll disagree with your family. So if you disagree, you disagree. I'm not in no way saying that because I'm saying that you should accept it, but I like to look at both sides. And the one thing that she said as it related to Trump was that, we all got that grandmother who, or know somebody, an old lady or somebody in your family or somebody who's not in your family who you could not stand, right? And because you can't stand them, like you don't like the way they talk to you crazy, like, but at the end of the day, what they didn't hurt you. You know what I'm saying? And this is just, and I'll do more research. I actually, a friend of mine, John Burnett, he's a black Republican, and I've known John like for years, and I call him a friend. He's a friend of mine, and I'm actually gonna bring him onto the show because I still, there's a lot of things I don't agree with from the conservative side. So I want to be clear on that, right? I want to be clear. There's a lot of things I don't agree on, but I would love to have a conversation with him about Trump, a direct conversation. So stay tuned for that. That interview is happening very soon. But when Angela Stanton, she gave this example of how you could literally not like somebody because of what they say, right? But at the end of the day, what they've done, is beneficial for you, or they did not hurt you, right? So number one tax shop says he's actually done a bit for former convicts. I agree with that, right? So when you look at so again, I'm not supporting it because I do think that he's a racist. Even if he's not a racist, because I don't know him personally. Even if he's not a racist, he understands that he's pandering that line, like he's towing that line, right? He knows what he's doing. He's a smart businessman. He's pandering that line. And so it becomes dangerous because what happens is that he's emboldening the racists that never went anywhere. They were around. They never went anywhere. So he's emboldening them, which is why we need to get to a space where we're protecting ourselves, right? But at the same time, though, if I'm just looking at facts, when I look at Joe Biden, again, he's responsible for millions of my brothers and sisters being put in jail. And I might not like what Trump is saying and what he's doing as far as like pandering to like racism and things of that nature. But there are some things that have some policies that have worked in our favor, black and brown people, if we kind of look at this. I'll leave it there because again, I don't want this conversation to be misconstrued as if I'm supporting Trump over Joe Biden because if you want to know my real thoughts is that I don't subscribe to the lesser of two evils ideology. I don't subscribe to that, right? I don't subscribe to that, and so I just think that the whole system needs to be torn down and rebuilt. You know what I'm saying? That's what I believe. I don't trust none of them mofos. None of them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a fact. I don't trust Democrats. I don't trust Republicans. Big facts. I don't trust none of them mofos. So I'm not, I'm not leaning on none of them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm focusing on local. I'm focusing on the local politicians economically that we can control because that's what I believe. I believe that if you have the money, you can control the narrative, period. And so if you start locally, as you start locally, control the narrative with your dollars. And honestly, this is how I feel. I don't care if you're Democrat. I don't care if you're Republican. What policies are you putting in place that could affect my life and my children's life and my children's life, period. So that's why I preach financial economics, because I think those with the money win. When we look at the Obama era, those who were able to get policies passed and things of that nature are those who who put money up. Black people didn't get anything because we ain't put no money up. That's it. As a collective, we ain't put no money up. So that's why when people be like, "Yo, what did Obama do for black people?" Not much, because we ain't put no money up, and so that's what I believe, right? So Wall Street Philippe says, got to start a black super PAC. I agree. You know what I'm saying? I agree. We have to have that super PAC. All right. Martiza says, can't forget about all those conservative white federal judges that are being appointed, over 200. No, I agree. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in no, so understand the top thing that I'm saying, right? The top thing that I'm saying is that the whole system needs to be broken down and rebuilt. The whole system is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole system is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, so at the end of the day, I'm saying tear that whole thing down and rebuild it. You know what I'm saying? Either that's the answer, or you separate yourself from that system and don't allow that system to affect you. And the reason why I'm saying separate yourself, because there are many ethnicities that live within the United States of America who are protected under the Constitution or whatever, but they've separated themselves in a way where a lot of the policies don't necessarily affect them like they do, black people, blacks and Latinos. You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth, right? So Bigger Dream says the system wasn't built for us, and that's the truth. It wasn't. Like, literally, the system wasn't built for us. That's why when you look at the Constitution, it had to be 27 amendments. You know what I'm saying? Like, it had to be 27 amendments. Meaning that they originally wrote it, it was faulty, and they had to keep going back and amending and amending and amending. Like, slavery was never abolished. Never. Slavery exists today, which is, again, why I'm like, oh, okay, mass incarceration, slavery, 13th Amendment, slavery by another name, But let's go through the markets real quick. So year-to-date market performance, NASDAQ is up year-to-date 8.74%. S&P 500 is down 6.86%. Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 12.34%. Gold is up year-to-date 17.42%. We have gold. Oh no, we have 10-year Treasury is down 1.27.3 basis points. Oil is down 37.66%. In COVID-19 news, coronavirus cases topped 10 million yesterday, and more than 500,000 deaths have been linked to the disease. So there's a lot of different states where COVID-19 is on the rise. And in the markets, definitely we're going to keep our eye on the markets as they open up, because the S&P 500 is still on track to have its best quarter since 1998. But this week, investors are going to be focusing on the jump in cases across the U.S. as well as June job reports on Thursday. And so stock futures also rise, start the week even with a spike in corona cases. U.S. stock futures rose on Monday, even as the U.S. coronavirus cases continue to surge. The Dow Jones Industrial Average futures climbed about 0.4%. The move implied an opening gain of about 150 points. S&P 500 futures added 0.2, and the NASDAQ 100 futures were lower. Speaking of Trump, we spoke about Trump earlier, which again, Wob said I appreciate the guy because at least he is telling you who you are. Like I don't know about y'all. If I'm in a war, if I'm in a battle, if I got beef with somebody, I want to know you got beef. I want to know we got issues. Again, my background tells me, right? You know how many stories I knew of people being taken out by foes that they thought were friends, right? Most people got taken out by somebody they let close to them, and they let their guard down, and then they were taken out of here. And so I want to know who my foes are. And so, yesterday while Donald Trump was tweeting, he retweeted a video, right? He retweeted a video showing his supporters shouting "White Power." Hours later, he deleted it, but the White House claims that he didn't, he hadn't heard the one statement in the video and was just sharing his supporters' enthusiasm. But the retweet earned widespread criticism, including from Senator Tim Scott, a representative of South Carolina, the Senate's only black Republican, calling it indefensible amid nationwide calls to end systemic racism. Spoiled Brat says Jesus was taken out by someone close to him. That's a fact. That's really a fact. And Trump, in other Trump news, Trump signed an executive order protecting federal monuments, memorials, and statues from vandalism. It calls for federal law enforcement to arrest anyone who causes damage to these statues. They could face a penalty of up to 10 years in prison. It also threatens to withhold federal funding from states and local governments that fail to protect their own monuments and statues. The order comes after multiple Confederate statues have been toppled by protesters in the midst of nationwide calls against racial injustice, and after at least 22 cities have reportedly taken them down or have plans to. And so, yeah, he signed the executive order. I also saw the other executive order. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was another executive order that he signed. And I want to know, your thoughts on this, because I've been seeing like mixed remarks on this, where some people are like, oh, this is another, I don't know. Donald Trump has passed a bill where skill set is more important than a piece of paper you spent 4 years to go into tremendous debt for. So I found that funny because he had passed a bill to allow you to have get hired with skills over a college degree. I don't think it's a bad thing as it relates to federal jobs, but other people are thinking it's a barrier now. I've heard reports, now that black women are the most educated, it's going to affect black women the most. I don't know. I mean, I think that I've always felt that way. I've always felt that your college degree doesn't make you doesn't make you smarter, right? When you have real skill set, that's what allows you to be able to create and innovate. So I like it. I think it's dope as well. Bella Six. One fun girl says Mississippi is removing the state flag. It's crazy because Wall Street Philly says entrepreneurs keep the economy. That's a fact. In fact, entrepreneurs hire the people with the degrees. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I just wanted to put that out there. In other news, Kanye West, in Trump news, Kanye West to bring Yeezy. I think this was dope. Yeezy clothing brand to Gap, right? So Kanye West is bringing his Yeezy brand to Gap. The rap superstar will and the billionaire will design adult and kids clothing that will be sold at the chain stores next year. According to the New York Times, the deal spans 10 years with the option to renew after 5 years. Gap is hoping that Kanye's involvement will generate $1 billion in annual sales by the fifth year point. So that's dope. That's dope. Beyonce has a visual album coming out called Black is King, and it's set for Disney Plus. So Beyonce, on Saturday, she released a trailer for a visual album that she has called Black is King, inspired by the 2019 film The Lion King. Written, directed, and executive produced by Beyonce, the film will premiere globally on Disney Plus on January 31st. Black is King is based on the music of Lion King. The gift released last year with a guest appearance from Kendrick Lamar, Childish Gambino, Pharrell, 070 Shake, Tierra Whack, Jay-Z, Blue Ivy, as well as African artists such as Burna Boy, Mr. Easy, This Your Boy Easy, I wanted to say that, Tiwa Savage, and more. And then we also have BET Award winners. I mean, y'all can look that up. I didn't watch it. It was virtual. There are, Lizzo won for Best Female R&B Pop. Chris Brown won for Best Male R&B Pop Artist. You had Migos won for Best Group. You had Best Collaboration, which was Drake and Chris Brown. You had Best Male Hip Hop Artist, DaBaby. You had Megan Thee Stallion win for Best Female Artist. You had Khaled and Nipsey Hussle and John Legend for Hire for the Video of the Year. Video Director of the Year. Fat shout to my Harlem native, Tiana Taylor, winning, for Video Director of the Year. We had Roddy Ricch, Best New Artist, Album of the Year. You had Roddy Ricch. I never listened to it, so yeah. So I mean, the rest of the list you could look up. Lastly, I'll touch on this quickly, and then I'll open it up for questions. But Facebook is being boycotted, right? So it's being boycotted by a lot of major brands. So you got, Starbucks just started to boycott, so they're not going to do any ads on Facebook. You got Unilever, Honda, Verizon, others who are protesting, Facebook through a campaign called Stop Hate for Profit. And so it was launched on June 17th by civil rights group, including NAACP, Color of Change, and the Anti-Defamation League. And so, what they're saying is that because there is Facebook is allowing people to use their platform to spread hate speech, and they're not doing a good enough job in stopping that, these big corporations are pulling back. The reason why I'm bringing this up though is because even though these big corporations are boycotting, it only makes up about 6% of their revenue, so it's not really gonna hurt them as much. Facebook makes the majority of their money from small businesses, you and I, right? And so in order for that to even affect them, it's going to take tens of thousands of us, you and I, to have to stop, putting ads and things of that nature. And so I do think that, it's indicative, and the reason why I think this is it's a good show, that a lot of times when you build your business off of the whale, like the 1%, it becomes vulnerable, right? They could affect your business. But if you have, and think about that as you're starting your business, as you're growing your business, if you have access to be able to have a bunch of people paying you small things, that's better than a few people paying you a large thing. Not saying you don't want the few people paying you a large thing, but you want a lot of people paying you a lot of things, which is honestly why I kind of switched my business model when I thought about coronavirus, because that was my motto, right? Like I was trying to be exclusive, because the more exclusive I was, right, I was able to get more money, right? So I was able to get, these big corporations to pay me 5 figures to speak or to consult with them or whatever. But what happened was, if that's the majority of my income, when things go south, now I allow a few corporations to control my income. And so that's why I flipped the model into, like, that's why I'm doing the show every day, like now I have to, I've always been for the people, but when I look at the percentage of, what the people, compared to the big corporations, I was always making more money from the bigger corporations. And so now, I'm kind of flipping that. Speaking of which, so I did open up. So I know y'all been watching. I've been talking about this program that I'm launching called Mailbox Money Academy. And so I did launch. It's going to be so Mailbox Money Academy is going to be a challenge to help people create digital products and businesses online. And the goal is to make $100,000 in 6 months, right? So from July to the end of the year, I'll give you the blueprint on how to make $100,000 in 6 months. And so I did open up the registration because it's invite only. I'm only going to accept 100 people into the program. And so if you go to mailboxmoneyacademy.com, I'll type it in the comments, right? So Mailbox Money Academy. I wrote that wrong in Instagram. Hold on, let's see. So mailboxmoneyacademy.com. So if you go to mailboxmoneyacademy.com, you can apply. I'm only mailboxmoneyacademy.com. I'm only accepting 100 people into the program. And so you have to fill out a form and the reason why I'm making it invite only is because I know it works, and I don't want anybody in the program who's not serious about getting into, who's not serious about doing the work. Because in order to create Mailbox Money, there's work that needs to be done. There's a lot of people that Is that the same as no? It's not the same as the $27 monthly program. It's not, because the Legacy Builders program is really focused on personal finance, and we'll touch on some of the stuff. But Mailbox Money Academy is specific to those who have a business and want to scale their business and sell products and services to make $100,000 in 6 months. And so with the Legacy Builders program, it's open to anybody, so anybody could get in there. Mailbox Money Academy, I'm looking for and you'll see it. You'll see what I'm saying when you have to apply for it. There's a questionnaire that you have to go through, and then I have my team looking through the questionnaire, and then based on your answers, we'll determine whether you get invited or not. You know what I'm saying? So what type of businesses will benefit from the program? All businesses, honestly. I don't care what you're in. I don't care if you're you could be a doctor, you could be real estate, you could be an actor, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You could be retail, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's really about it's really about having a product or service, creating a sales funnel, right? Creating sales funnels, creating promoting, marketing, sales, everything that you need to create a system that's able to sell your product. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Wall Street Philippe said, is it posted already? Yes. Go to mailboxmoneyacademy.com so you can apply. Mailboxmoneyacademy.com so you can apply. All right. So I'm gonna open it up for any questions that you guys may have. But again, go to mailboxmoneyacademy.com to apply for the for the program. There will be an investment, so it's not a free program. There will be an investment, but again, there's going to be three levels too, right? So there's going to be 3 levels of the program. There's going to be a do-it-yourself part of the program, and so there's going to be one price if you do it yourself. There's going to be another price if you do it with me, right? Meaning like we'll work together, and then you'll do it done with you, right? Then you have the done for you, where there's another price if you want your sales copy, because it's all about the copy. It's all about what you write. Period. Right? If you join anybody's mailing list, there is a science to what makes people hit the buy button, and it's what you write. It's how you write it. It's how you emotionally connect. And so we go over all of that. We go over funnels. We go over automation, all of that stuff. And so there's these different things. Fem Creator says how much. You got to apply first, right? Once you apply and you get past that, past the first round, then you'll be given a link to show the prices. No beverage break. And so but here's the thing, right? And this is what I'm saying. The thing is that you got to put in the work. And so you're only going to be able to make the 100K in 6 months if you put the work. And so I did the math, right? If you have and I'll give you this real quick for those who may not think it's feasible. If you have a $10 product, right? If you have a $10 product and you sell 50 a day, if you sell 50 $10 products per day for the next 185 days, you can make $100,000 by the end of the year. How do you sign up for the personal finances monthly program? MindRightLegacy.com. So if you go to www.mindrightlegacy.com, that is the link for the monthly personal finance one. But for the 100K in 6 months, that is mailboxmoneyacademy.com. And so again, meaning if you have a $10 product and you sell 50 of them per day for the next 185 days, you can make $100,000. If you have a $100 product, right, and you sell 5 of them every day, $500 products every day, then you can make $100,000. So, do the math. It's all math. It's all know the numbers. All right, so I'm gonna open it up. Fat shout to all my folks on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Periscope. Fat shout to Bonita. Bonita says, fake Biden. I learned that who do we fight, Trump versus Biden? Eric Pimentel said, that's a fact. At least we know what we're dealing with him. Bonita says, I know that from WBAI. Jazz Harrison, fat shout to you on YouTube. Says, Joe, fact, shout out Ash Cash. I want to thank you, Trapper, Ian, and Rashad, and Troy from Earn Your Leisure. Y'all truly been an inspiration all year. Keep going, King. Salute, Jazz. I appreciate you. Najee Sterling says, yes, Joe has changed. He's definitely not perfect. However, Donald is not truthful. He just can't fake it because of his lack of emotion, empathy. So we can tell where he stands when he speaks, even when his words don't match his actions. Guy Jazzy, good morning. Good morning, my good sir. George Sosa says 45 took out a full-page ad seeking the death penalty for Central Park 5. Still hasn't apologized for it. Biden, on the other hand, has shown signs of evolution. His prospective White House staff will be 30% people of color. His VP will likely be Kamala Harris or a black woman or Elizabeth Warren. And, hey, Biden's not a traitor. Always a plus. Ha, ha, ha. The choice is clear. Biden 2020. Now, salute. Like, I think the whole system is messed up. So I'm not for or against. I'm just telling you how I feel. Bonita says we already know. Agreed. New system. Guy says totally agree. Najid says yes. The crime bill was horrible. Just like stop and frisk. The original intention of these bills negatively affected our community, but Hillary, Bill, and Joe had to accept the horrible repercussions of the crime bill against black and brown people. Trump in 2020 would have definitely voted for the crime bill if it was on his desk right now. Don't get it twisted. I don't agree with that, but that's because in 2020 Trump. I mean, and again, I'm not defending Trump, but the facts are the facts. In 2020 or 2019, even in 2020, he's pardoned a lot of people. He's signed police. He's signed jail reform that is releasing people. So I don't know. I don't know. But again, I'm not going back and forth on that. My guy Carter Fax says, I totally understand, my brother. I'm with you. At least we know where we stand with Trump. Joe Biden is an option that is very, very uncertain. He was a part of mass incarceration. So that's my guy. That's my guy C, right? So my guy C Carter, he know, you know what I'm saying? Like, he knows. Like we grew up together. So he knows that dudes was in jail that didn't have to be in jail, yo. Dudes got records that didn't have to be in records because of mass incarceration. So I was personally affected. And my guy C. Carter knows, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. That's just how I feel, though. And yes, while we may have reservations about both parties, at the end of the day, we have to win these elections. A Biden administration is more progressive step on multiple levels, including financial for people of color. We can't give a white supremacist another 4 years in office. Then we can work on modifying that system. Look around. Black Lives Matter isn't going anywhere. We need to build on that momentum. That's why I'm looking forward to having my guy on there. All right, so let me answer some questions because these are all great. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I do want to look at policies though. I don't because I think I don't want us to make decisions based on emotions. Because when we say white supremacists in office, I want to look at the policies. Like what are the policies that are being passed, and that's what I want to look at. So I'll do more research and we can have a conversation. Let me see. Mr. Trump could certainly have blocked jail reform. No, I'm just saying. All I'm saying is that I know people, not personally, but I've seen people who look like me who have been released from jail because of some of his policies. That's all. And I know this is touchy, so that's why I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not for Trump. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not for Biden. I'm not against Trump. I'm not against Biden or Trump. I'm not against Biden. I'm just saying how I feel. Ash, don't run from politics. You should run. Be the change. Now I'm good. So I promise you. So Nadir says, Ash, don't run from politics. You should run. Nope. Be the change you want to see. I don't want to see that change though. So that's the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is that I'm good because history says that the people with the money have the power, right? So I do not want to be controlled. And so if I run for politics, I now am being controlled by by big business, not the people. So it's one thing if politics was set up so that people control, right? Because I work for the people. And I could work for the people better by being an independent voice that's not tied down and beholden to corporations. I could work for the people more effectively as an independent person who get money. And I can make my economic dollar talk. I don't need to be nobody's puppet. No disrespect to nobody who's a politician. In fact, I need the politicians. Right? I need the politicians. Because then I could control them. No, I'm just joking. I'm not joking, but I didn't mean to say that out loud. I'm not joking, but I didn't mean to say that out loud. You know what I'm saying? So no, I'm not running for politics because at the end of the day, I'm not going into a system I don't believe in. I don't believe in the system. I do believe that money talks. And so I feel like money, you know what I mean? Money talks on a perspective where if you have the right economic base, you could get your politicians to do what you want them to do. That's a fact, though. That's not my opinion. That's a fact. I've been in that position before. I told y'all before. I've been in that position. So it's a fact. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. Let's see what questions we got. We got like 6 minutes. I went ranting today, so I might owe y'all some questions. Let's see. So ASM Bandit says, how can you invest in companies without the stock market? Private equity, meaning that if you have access to businesses, please listen to Ballot or the Bullet to understand. I know Ballot or the Bullet very, very well. Salute Malcolm X. I'm gonna listen to it again, actually. But yeah, so you could invest in companies without the stock market if you was in your rowdy mood today. My fault, y'all. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I woke up good though, but I woke up being I wanted to be honest today. I'm always honest, but I wanted to be raw. I'm gonna give it to you. Like straight like cocaine, straight from Bolivia. No, it's fine. Yeah, you if you find you could invest in businesses, private equity, private businesses. I mean, it depends, right? Because businesses that are looking for big money usually go to like hedge funds and VCs and stuff like that to get their money. But there's like small businesses that might be raising funds as well. So yeah. Let me see. Wall Street Philippe, are people feeling any impact of inflation from the current increase in currency printing? Not right now. Not yet, Wall Street Philippe. Yeah, not right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I do think that they will feel the impact of inflation, but I think it's going to take some time for people to start feeling it. So I don't think that the currency printing is real. But I don't think that people are feeling it in that. Oh yeah, word. Appreciate you, Swore Brad. She said it's okay. We know that we are going to get that every now and then. Love your honesty, straight no chaser. That's a fact. We're definitely gonna y'all about that Jada and not. I thought it's today, right? Isn't it today? Oh, we're gonna talk about that Jada and no facts. So today, we got Jada and Fab doing the verses. So I'm looking forward to that. So we're gonna talk about that for sure, because those are my guys. But definitely rooting for my Harlem brother, even though he's from Yonkers, but he got the Harlem swag. So I'm rooting for my guy Jada, Jada. Oh, they ended my joint. Wow. So did I miss it? Yo, I don't know what happened. But Instagram just ended my whole live. Hopefully they'll let me save it. Maybe I did miss it. All right. So I guess that's my time. So YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Thank you guys for joining. for being with me. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Make sure you go to the ashcastshow.com to subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you go to ashcasttv.com to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We need 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Same time, same place. Peace.